Well, guys, when it rains, it pours. I'm here for you after midnight as we have had late news that has just compounded a miserable week so far, I would say. 3-0 loss at home to Middlesbrough tonight. Well, last night, as you know, technically. But we have news that knocks the stuffing out of us even more. And we're going to get into that in a bit. It's all in the title, and it's real. It's absolutely real. Caspadinho in the house. It's over. William Morrison saying this night can't get any worse. 40 million buyout on a 30 million sign is moronic. Just made sure my dog's still breathing. We'll talk about that. But boy, I don't think it's moronic, William, because we did get him at 35 wearing the Prem. And usually, anyway, this is a moot point at this point. It doesn't really give anyone any comfort. But when you get relegated, you could lose this player for, say, 20. So the fact that we're going to possibly lose him for more is actually it's a good thing. It doesn't. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's a good thing in the general scheme of things of how it usually goes, because you can usually spend 25 million on a player, and then if you get relegated, they've probably got a release clause in there for like 10 to 15 because it's usually easier for them to get out. So the fact that he's going for more is something. But what does the money mean if it doesn't go back into the squad, which we've seen no evidence of the previous transfers at this point in time? But thank you for that, William. And also thank you to you for the super thanks, just so I don't forget that. People, I'm just going to do the usual thing. Please like, subscribe, drop your comments below. I'm still going through the ones on the match reaction, but this is breaking news, people. And you know what? Let's get into it. David Ornstein with the Bombers, as he's known. Yeah, this one sucks. Not gonna lie, this one sucks. Black Country Fisherman saying we can't let this happen. Surely it's not on us, Black Country. They've activated the release clause. The only thing that can happen is that he decides that he doesn't want to move, or we can offer him a new contract and say, look, give us this season, and off you go next year with a possibly lower release clause. Even though some people would still moan about that if he goes next season for less if we don't go up. But that's the only way that this happens, because right now, people, we knew Brighton were interested before, thought they had gone away, but they're back again. Brighton and Hove Albion activate 40 million release clause in the contract of Leeds United forward Georginio Rutter. Brighton saw 29 million plus 35 million offers rejected before satisfying conditions of Leeds United exit mechanism today. 22-year-old must now make the decision. And just seeing if there's anything extra in the actual Athletic article. It is now up to the 22-year-old to decide whether or not to proceed with the proposed transfer. His deal runs till 2028. But yeah, it's up to him basically. And yeah, he was on the pitch today, as we saw, so he still made himself available despite this bid going in, which again just shows the professionalism of Georginio through this whole thing. And we knew he was going to have interest. Like we've said many times, look, people, we've got players here that shouldn't be here, no matter what you think of them. And the thing is, the proof's in the pudding. So whether you think they're Premier League or not, or higher division or not, it's irrelevant, because the proof's in the pudding, and the bids keep coming for our big hitters. The thing that concerns me the most, let me just read anything, if there's anything else for the Ornstein thing. Yeah, he's behaved exemplary. We know that. 7 goals, 15 assists last season. He's featured twice so far. Yeah, we know who we've sold. Yeah, okay, right. And yeah, that's just from Nancy, her opinion. So yeah, just going back onto this and getting your thoughts, people. Isaac saying, what a disaster, KG. We can kiss promotion goodbye if he leaves. Rutter is the definition of irreplaceable. If we sell him, Leeds have met 140 million in sales, the highest in Europe this window. Yeah. Look, it's a big thing for me. And thank you, Bobby, for the super chat as well. That just echoes what Isaac's just said. That's a stardust gone. If he's to leave, if we find out he's to leave, and let's face it, Brighton, I don't think. Listen, it's Premier League. It doesn't matter what I think of Brighton. Yet again, it doesn't matter about my opinion. He gets to showcase his talent on the high stage if he goes. But we lose that stardust. That's huge for us. It's absolutely huge, and I can believe it. But wow, 40 million, and Brighton have come in crazy. Kelvin with the old shirt curse, got my away shirt on the way with Georginio on the back. Excellent. Well, I mean, they do warn you saying that things are subject to change, up until the transfer window. But I feel your pain, Kelvin. I do. Will saying, before I saw the headline, I thought Farker was sacked. I understand, Wilf. I understand. Hyru saying, if Jorginho goes, I can't see Nanto sticking around. Yeah, and once again, let me just explain this, because I hope, Hyru, you're not saying it in the way just because Somerville's gone, Rutter's gone, that means Nanto's gonna, throw his, dummy out the pram. It's just ambition. If someone comes in with a suitable bid for Nanto or me, he doesn't have a release clause, but if someone comes in with a suitable bid, he's well within his rights to say, "Look, I want to go." Listen, Nanto is going to be good. He is, but he cannot do it by himself. He's not that kind of player. He's going to need someone to work that magic with him, like a Jorginho. And there is no one we're going to get. Even if we were to get Schmadix, for instance, I'm saying get Schmadix on the basis that you've got all this talent around him. You're talking a completely different game if we lose Georginio Rutter this summer, people. Completely different. Don't know what it means for my prediction. I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm thinking more of, please, Georginio, I hope you stay. But let's face it, this is Brighton. It's Premier League. It's a great opportunity for the kid to go. Yeah, I'm gutted, man. Not gonna lie, gutted. Baby Bremner, what do you make of it all, KG? Well, what I make of it, Baby Bremner, is exactly what I said after the playoff final, and is that this is the price of failure. For all the people that are happy that we're still in the championship, or we're winning games, this is what happens. You lose your best players, especially when you play for Leeds United. Always been the case, never will change. As long as we're out of the top league, we're always going to be susceptible for bigger clubs getting our better players because they just play on a higher. There's more eyes on it when it's Leeds United. Always will be. I'm keeping an eye out, see if Gustavo Harmer leaves Sheffield United. But at this moment in time, all our best gems are being picked off. But all we've got now, listen, all we've got now is hope that he rejects the move. That is it. It is out of our hands. Release clause has been activated. You can't reject it for anyone that comes in with that kind of thought. No, you can't reject a legally binding release clause as long as they meet the criteria. It's done. It's done. It's up to him now. Yeah, I wouldn't criticize him. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, this one stings. Yeah. Gavin saying, don't worry, we have Ruffle on loan. Yeah. James here saying, I want Ifarka to go around the start of the new year. This is just another consequence of his failure last season. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, DC Sports Hub. Look, I'm not bringing those people up. There's a couple here that are on their last legs with me as well. I think there are a couple of like trolls kind of thing. But if we didn't have Somerville for a start, we're not getting 90 points. Take out Jorginho before his hernia up. It's completely different. The offense literally ran through those two players. And it's not even up for debate. It's statistically proven, and with the eye test. If it wasn't for those two, we wouldn't have unlocked many of those games, even in our unbelievable winning run. It was them two that were the source of the attack. So I just ignore those people there, and who knows who they think are good players or not. Yeah, you're out, man. You've had enough time, Matthew. Good night, man. Good night. It's not the time. Uh Yeah, Williams just saying, would this start? Would you blame him? I wouldn't. I mean, again, William, even if we had won, say, these two games convincingly, it doesn't stop Brighton from putting in a bid. It doesn't stop that. It's just why I've said it to you guys before. Most of us sensible people don't want to watch football in this league. So just think about if you're a player and you think about your Jorginho. Oh, okay, I've got Plymouth to look forward to. I've got this to look forward to. Or I can go Brighton and go and play on the biggest stages and apply my talent there. For me, it's an easy decision to make. It's just the fan in me hoping that he stays. But as a career player, it makes all the sense in the world to go to Brighton. It does. Um, Phil saying no, Phil with the hope here, and yeah, he's adored by the fans on another level if he stays. He's settled in Leeds too. You never know. Yeah, I mean, you can settle yourself anywhere though, Phil. That's the thing, especially as a 22-year-old. You know what I mean? I hear what you're saying on one hand, but money and opportunity. It's with Brighton, isn't it? It's all with Brighton. There's not much that. What can we give him right now? that would say, you know what, stay here over Brighton. What can we give him? You know what I mean? You got a manager that's is who he is. It's tough, isn't it? And looking at the incomings as well, where's the reinforcements? There's not even like the reinforcements say, look, we've got Schmadix, we've got this to help get us up this year. It's like, well, I'm looking around, it's me and Willie Nanto, Mateo Joseph, and Dan James. Who else is here? Um, Isaac saying if he leaves, Isaac, thank you for the super thanks chat. It's late here. If he leaves and we know we won't replace him, can we really blame Farker for the inevitable upcoming failure of promotion? I'm not so sure. Isaac, I'm gonna you usually sensible. You're usually sensible, Isaac. So I'm gonna let this one go. But thank you for the super thanks. Much appreciated. That's peace. All right. That's peace. We'll leave it there. Um Will saying Nonto will definitely want out. That will be all our key players gone. Who want to come now? Well, there will be players that want to come, Will. It will be players that feel that they can fill the void, although they can't. And we're just going to say that now. Whoever comes in, and we've said it already, it will take two players to replace Somerville. God knows what it will take to replace Georgie and his influence at the club. But they won't be able to replace them, but they will feel players that will come in to replace them will think, I can do what they do, and we will go up. Footballers have egos, and they should. They've got to a very high level for a reason. So there will be players that think they can come in and do the job. But yeah, it's going to be sticky. Not going to lie. Jim saying Rutter is the only thing I like about this club. Sorry. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me just see what else is there. Let me just scroll up and see what else people are saying. While I'm doing that, please hit a like on the video if you haven't already, people. Uh, we got some comedians in the house. Cool. You know what, man? I get the jokes though, but honestly, with the just compounding the result of Wednesday night as we stand now, and this, it just sucks. And being in this league sucks anyway. But you just hope that you could have held on to these players. And look, all it was hope for me. I'm fully aware that these players that are being linked with moves away and being bid on so heavily are players that should be playing at a high level. But it's all you got as a fan at this level is hope that you can keep them. And it doesn't look like it, man. Doesn't look like it. Casperdino saying Georginio is way harder to replace than Somerville. Casperdino, that kind of point is it's not even a point to be made because if we lose both, then it's a hard job replacing both. It's a point that doesn't need to be made. I don't get. Listen, this is going to get worse before it gets better. And I've had this on here where the chat just goes into a tailspin and it's all bad. You know, we've had it through the Premier League years where we're getting our asses handed to us week in, week out. Chat doesn't know what to do with himself. But this kind of point here, we're already having a tough time replacing Somerville. Add Georginio to that. What are we doing then? It's all crazy, man. Josh saying, if we don't laugh, we cry. Listen, I did that earlier, Josh, and I thought that was the end of it. Then you see the Ornstein news. It's like, oh my Lord. God damn. Oh man. Yeah, as if my day couldn't get any worse. I mean, what is everyone saying, man? We'll end this in a bit. I'm still going to come back later today. Obviously, that means later in the day as we stand right now because it is after midnight. Luis saying, sorry, Luis saying this is horrible. It is. Bobby saying, how the hell were the club talking like we still had a chance of promotion? Yeah, I'm going to get back to that, Bobby. And Casperdino, yeah, said, yeah, I'm panicking a bit. I understand. Listen, Casperdino, I completely get it. But yeah, I understood your point earlier, but it doesn't make any sense, really, does it? In terms of we've lost one. If we lose two, then you're trying to replace both. Sorry, where's that one gone? Yeah, feels worse than last summer. John, does this feel worse than last summer? I don't think so for me, John, just purely because this is our second year in the league. And as I've said multiple times, I know what I'm talking about, so I'm cool. It gets harder. And to think that you're going to keep all of your big hitters in the second year of the championship is just unrealistic. It is. It's completely unrealistic. You get to keep all the scraps you've got, That's no problem. No one wants those. But all your key players, the Somerville, Georginio, Nanto, Gray, all those people are being looked at, picked off by all the bigger clubs, and that's what makes it harder. The harder thing is for, I guess, people like John is thinking that we were going to possibly keep all of these guys. It just wasn't realistic. I just thought that the release clause would probably take Rutter out the running for a few clubs, but Brighton have come back, man, big time. Big time. And yeah, NZ saying, I don't know if anyone saw 40 million bid coming for Rutter though. Yeah, I'm probably there too. I thought that when we saw 35 million bid rejected, I thought, cool, we might be able to hang on for him for at least until January, but clearly not. Brighton mean business people. Um, yes, yes, it would have been nice to keep one of them. 100%, John. That's the hope we have as fans, right? Isaac has come back again. Please, Isaac. I hope this is one is more sensible. Please, it's far too late for this. But shout out to you. You know, I appreciate your support. Okay, Isaac saying, KG, what I meant was this will be more on the 49ers. They promised us aggressiveness in the transfers, but so far it's not good enough. From that point, yeah, Isaac. But when you look at it in totality, still from last season, why didn't he get the job done then? And I don't want to harp on about last season because it's been and gone. But ultimately, that was on Farker. 2 wins in 9 to end the season, Isaac, with all these players. So then to expect him to come back next year with a weaker squad and get promoted with his tactical acumen or lack of, it's a tough job. I've already said it. I've already made my stance clear with Farker. If we get promoted, it will be in spite of him, not because of him. And that's the way it is at this point in time. But there is still not, maybe if you're looking at it now, top two, is there the stardust that differentiates us from Sheffield United and Burnley? Maybe not now. I'd probably say maybe not. If you keep hold of players like Rutt and Somerville, 100%, but it's a different ball game, and it all depends on who you bring in to replace them. And if you replace them, say like we get in Schmodix in and somebody else, someone that we don't even know about, let's just say, then I would still expect Farker to, maintain an assault on the league to put us in the top two. But it's a bit tough to look at it right now, I must say. Yeah, Ryan here saying we've done around 80 million in sales. This would take us to 120 million. Where are the signings? Yeah. John saying I'd take top six if you offered it to me now. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because when you look at that now, it does. I've always said, what have I said to you many times, people? I change my opinion when the information changes, and now that doesn't change now. We lose Somerville, Georginio, and at this point, not replace them. I'm not looking at the team as a top two anymore. It's very different. It looks very different, completely different. So do I look at Burnley and Sheffield United as the top two? I would say that maybe for me, Sheffield United take one of the spots, and then it's a tussle between us and Burnley at this point. But it's looking bleak, and we know this football club always loves an excuses not to win games. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Guy here. Oh, so Guy, you're not even a Leeds fan. You've been here for a long time, Guy. You've been no wonder some of your comments don't make no sense for me. It makes sense now, Guy. I didn't realize, but no, he doesn't have a release clause, so that one is more in our hands. But then again, Guy, we didn't think Somerville had a release clause, and then we found out he did. So you never know. But no, at this point, he doesn't have a release clause according to the information that we currently have. Paul saying 25 days since Bogle came in. I'm sorry, but Rothwell, Bogle, Cairns, and Roden isn't inspiring. Yeah. See, everything is context, isn't it, Paul? Because if you sign Bogle, Rothwell, and Roden in complement to what you currently have in the Somerville Georginio, it makes sense. But you take out two big hitters like that and have this, it looks absolutely completely different. I completely agree. And that is why they have got work to do, especially if Georginio accepts this move. Guy saying, just a fan of you, really, but I appreciate that, Guy. Thank you for that. Oh, guys. Oh, the chat's been in shambles the past two videos, but I completely understand. So I understand, people. Don't worry about it. JJ, our squad feels very thin as well. It is thin, JJ. It doesn't feel like it. It is. We are literally take out Rutter now. We are literally a couple of injuries away from having people on off the bench starting who have got no business starting regularly for this football club. So that is why we've already said, Farker's already said, not me, not you, Farker. We need a fullback, central midfielder, and someone to come in to try and take the Somerville spot. Yeah, yeah. This is oh man, this is bad. Noel with this kind of point again, which again doesn't make sense. What decent player would want to join us now? There's plenty of players that want to join. The problem is Noel and everyone else. We don't know what our budget is. You know, we don't know how much we got to play with. You know, we put in a little inquiry for Jonathan Rowe. Obviously, 8 million was not going to cut the mustard, and we've left it. You know, we haven't been back since. We don't know what it is. I do have still have the message I got from a friend of the list Leeds United submitted. I don't know if that's still going to be the budget. I would assume, especially if Georginio goes through, that the budget will increase. But there's not a lot to play with at this point in time. But look, we'll only see when the replacements come in. But yeah, this news is gutting. Very, very demoralizing, I must say. Um, yeah, we do need a new goalkeeper. Yeah, 100. But we know what's happening there. Wow. Yeah, Mike, that horrible song about us falling apart is all I can hear now. I hear it. I hear it. Mm. Yeah, he does. From a football man point of view, which I am, he does deserve to go. But the Leeds fan in me wants him to stay. But he absolutely deserves a top move. His skill set, his moves, he is a cheat code in this division. So yeah, he deserves to be playing on a higher level, and maybe it is with Brighton. They've got a lot of room in their team as well. He's got a spot there where he will play easily as well, easily. Oh, guys. Yeah, JJ, I'm with you there. He totally deserves to go, but damn, it will hurt 100. Absolutely hear it. Oliver saying, woke up in Australia to the score, then this news, long day ahead. Buckle up, man. Buckle up. Oh, man. Let me just see if there's anything additional. Don't think so. It is very, very late here in England. You know, it's what is it now? Quarter to one. Quarter to one at night. So I doubt there'll be any follow up from anyone else. Let me just check. Man, supporting this football club, eh? Supporting this football club. Crazy. Thank you, mom. Thank you. Yeah, nothing there, nothing here. Isaac is back again. Isaac, please let this be a good one. Nah, I'm joking with you, Isaac. You know I love you. Isaac just saying here, I know it's late. This is just to say thank you for your dedication. Big up, KG. Big up to you, Isaac. You know I appreciate you, man. Shout out to you. Um, maybe they'll give us that. That's not happening, Mike. I like that though. I'm not really a big fan of John Pedro, but I like your ambition. I do. Mm, Bobby saying to think some people actually wanted him sold too. Absolute weirdos. Yeah, it is what it is. You can't listen. Those kind of people will probably go and say that players like Lewis O'Brien and stuff would have been the answer, not a Georginio. There's no accounting for football taste. You know what I'm saying? But I always say the proof's in the pudding. Look where players end up. People who you rate. People used to rave about Adam Forshaw, didn't he? Look at him now at Plymouth. Where these players end up kind of tell you how much they're rated. Somerville's gone to the Premier in a very exciting West Ham team for all the people that started to say he wasn't all that. Jorginho's going to a very well recruited Brighton team. Proofs in the pudding, people. Doesn't matter what your opinion is. Um, Jack saying Nonto deserves to leave as well. He shouldn't be here when all the other talents have left. Yeah, I agree with that, Jack. And listen, there'll be people that will say, look at his numbers, but all you have to look at Nonto's technique, look at his skill set. He is a higher level division player, and it's not even a debate. It's not a debate. If you know football, you know. And all it will take now is him to look at it and go, guys, I'm the only one left. I can't do this by myself, and he can't. He needs help. Gavin saying Brighton will make him an 8 million player. More than likely, Gavin. More than likely. Yeah, yeah, I know, James, I know. JJ, where is the creative output if Rutter goes? That's a great question. It's Nanto. There's no other creative outlet. Everyone else that we have is not a creative player like Georginio. There's not one player like him here. Joe Ruffwell is not him. He's not. Even though he looks more to be like a deep line playmaker, he is nowhere near the level of Georginio Rutter. Not even close. Not even close to his left toe. Nothing. Not even close. Dan James is pace and power. We know what he is. Nonto is probably the only one that will dribble past a few players, get to the byline or shoot or make something happen. But that's not creative. That's being a inside forward. There is no one else. We don't have anyone else like him, and that's the worrying thing, people. Yeah, Aronson. Yeah, again, he's a 10, but he's not that creative player. He's more of a pest. Not being horrible to Aronson, but that's more what he is. He's not a gliding player who's going to take players out. He's going to win fouls. He's going to invade space, but he's not a creative player. See Gaspadino. There we go. Gaspadino's lighting the mood there. Farker probably already popping the champagne, thinking that the Peru or Georginio at 10 questions will end. Tremendous, tremendous. Um, and Gavin, I mean, Georginio hasn't signed a new contract since he was brought to the club. So when he signed that contract, that would have been done by Victor Orta. So you know what, Victor Orta gets a lot of stick, but this is actually one of the good things that he did. It doesn't seem good for us now because we're going to lose him, which is the worst thing. But in terms of this kind of release clause for a relegation, it's actually good because they usually go for much less than what they bought for. So this is actually one thing that Victor Orta got right when it comes to relegation releases. Yeah. And this one may have not been a relegation release clause. It could have been, say, maybe a non-promotion release clause. Could have been one of those. We don't know, but I'm pretty sure it will be the relegation release clause. Max Max might give this season a miss now. No, you stay here, Max. You suffer with all of us, all right? Gavin just following up 5 million difference is a joke, though. Not really, Gavin. Again, this is not being horrible, Gavin, but this is where people just don't know the ins and outs of football. We've seen teams buy players before for say 30 million. Let's just say 30. Let's go with that. They get relegated, they'll lose that player for 10 to 15, usually half of what they're worth, just because that player will be on a bigger contract. That player would have only signed because, listen, if we get relegated, I'm not staying here. Let me go for this. And the clubs will acquiesce to that request. So to get more than what we paid for him is actually a win. Whether you liked it or not, that is actually a win in the books of relegated clubs. Um, I don't do the EFL fantasy. I already do the EPL and I do NHL. I have not got time to do or the will to do championship fantasy. Absolutely not. Nick saying worried that even if he says no to Brighton, bigger sharks may smell blood and come in. Yeah, I don't know, Nick. Do you think he's going to say no? I don't see it, man. I hope so. I'm listen. I'm with everyone. I hope he does say no to the sensible people. Anyway, I hope he does say no. I just find it very, very difficult to believe. And someone was saying as well while I was looking up something. I can't remember who said it, but they said he was crying at the end of the game. Did anyone else see that? I didn't see that because, like I said, I logged off after Gurev put the free kick wide, and I just came on here live and spoke about the post match. So I didn't see anything after the game. And all I've seen so far with Farker is that he's taken the full responsibility for the game, but I haven't dug too deep into his quotes because the video I was watching, it was just loads of keyboard tapping, and that drives me freaking mental. So I'll have to wait until it's in script to read it. Um, yeah. Did anyone else see him cry at the end of the game, or did someone just make that up? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Yeah, Wolf. Farker will be next to go. If he can't win with these players, he's going to struggle with the squad going forward. Will, listen, Wilf, I just going by the temperature of my last comments and my Insta DMs, the rope is very short with Daniel Farker. And I'm being polite with what I'm saying here. There's people that want him gone if we don't beat West Brom or lose to West Brom. and some people are willing to give him to the Sheffield Wednesday game. That's a very short rope. He's very there's a lot of fans that have lost faith with Daniel Farker. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. Uh, yeah, Darren saying unlikely says no. Enzifi, who replaces him for you? Enzifi. It's going to take two players to replace Somerville, which we haven't done yet. Georginio, that's another two. So for me, it's at least Schmodix. That's one, and somebody else has to come in. So the recruitment who are struggling at this point in time, because it is a struggle. Whether they're saying that they're being patient. Danny Farker can say that he's got patience, he trusts the people behind the scenes. I do to a certain extent, but I'm seeing other teams around us do business and not make it look like it's a hard slug. Why are we not doing the same? Why do we never do it like this? I expected a few more to come in, like the Joe Rothwell thing, where we don't hear nothing about it. It's done on the day, and here he is. But we are now coming to halfway through the window, and we still haven't replaced one for Somerville yet. But yeah, Jim, I'm here as well. I'm still here. Let's see what happens. But I'm just going to make it clear: Georginio goes, Somerville goes. It looks very different for me, and it's as simple as that. Yeah, and Carlos, this isn't even the joke of the Pep thing, but we cannot replace him. And I actually mean it, not like Pep. I mean it. We cannot replace him. We cannot. Immortal saying Whitaker and Schmadix. Oh man. Oh, it's subpar replacements, but good for this level. And that is something we do have to measure it with Immortal Sting. Agreed for this level. Schmadix is a 100 for me. Whitaker. eh, Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I would like us to look on the continent and look for an unearthed gem for me instead of a Morgan Whitaker. I would prefer us to look for a gem. I would. Bobby just saying about Farke, he relies on individuals. That is facts. Can't be disputed throughout his whole managerial career. Can't be disputed. But take them same individuals out of team without replacements, and we'll be mid-table. Yeah. Gavin, that's funny. That's good from you, Gavin. See you at 3:30 in the morning for Nanto Everton bid. I think that there will be I think that there'll be more clubs in for him besides Everton, but let's hope not, eh? Let's hope not. Yeah, Jim saying I hate that depressing expression good for this level. I hear it, Jim, but that's reality. It is. I'm completely with you, and you know this, Jim. I'm a very ambitious person, but I'm also very realistic. We are not going to get anyone near the quality of Georginio Rutter or Somerville. We're just not at this level. So you're going to have to plan short term and hope that you can get enough people to get you up and then sort it out once you're in the Prem. Obviously, because you have to replace a lot of the players and the manager when you go to the Premier League. You just have to. But we have to focus on that. People, we haven't even won a game yet. Never mind thinking about replacement signings. um, Carlos saying now won't be able to sleep. Thanks a lot, Leeds United. Yeah. Caspadino saying, "Oh, see yeah, test the waters with Jack Clark. Don't see why not. Worst thing they can do is say no, eh? Yeah, yeah, I might say no to that. To be fair, this is what I mean, Caspadino. And listen, Jack Clark is a fine player at this level, but again, I don't see him being a Premier League player. I think he's just too lightweight, and he doesn't have the technical ability. He's good at running past a few players, big time, but I don't think he does it at Premier League level. He doesn't strike me as that player. But and how much are you trying to get him out of Sunderland for? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to get him out. And for me, for him not having the capability to cross over to the Prem, that's probably too much money. And that's what I mean, Kelvin, all the names people are throwing out, it's depressing. It is. It is 100. Um, God, we are coming to the end, people. Listen, I appreciate you tuning in. I knew there would be some people because people are still leaving comments on the match reaction. So I thought, you know what, let me go live now and just talk about this. We're going to speak about it more tomorrow as well. So people are still leaving comments now. Seeing a clown emoji for Farker. I've already explained it, Goldie. If you haven't seen the explanation, please go back. But I've explained it pretty well, and it's very true. Casperini was saying same risk with Schmodix though. I hear it though, but I think Schmodix has got a bit more about him, and I think is the way that he plays the game would suit himself to the Premier League. I do. I'm not saying that I feel like he'll get near 20 goals in the Prem, but I think he'd be a good outlet in the Premier League, and he'd be a good squad player. He would not be the starter in the Premier League. He shouldn't be anyway. I'd be aiming higher, and I've got a list when we get to the Prem. But I do feel that Schmodix and his hunger and drive alone, as well as his ability, would be enough for the Prem. Jack Clark, though, for me, is just a little bit too lightweight. Yeah, it's mad, JJ. It's chaos, absolute chaos, bedlam, pure bedlam in the comments, but it's understandable, isn't it? No cap saying smash the lights for KG. Love the commitment to this late update. I appreciate that. No cap. Shout out to you. Um, and thanks for the therapy. Yeah, Jim, he's getting on. The guy's gonna turn 29 in September, man. Man, he ain't finished, he ain't finito. Football players as well these days can go for a long time, and Jim, let's just go on your theory anyway. Let's say you think he's getting on. I think he's got maybe 4 years left of his peak. That's pretty good for maybe 15 million pounds. We paid 27 for Rodrigo and got the remainder out of his peak, whatever that was last season. But that was good, wasn't it? I mean, they don't all have to be young pups that you bring in. And Danny Farker himself has said he wants experience. What can be better than a goal getter who's 29 years old or 28 at this current time and will get you goals from midfield and is a terrier in there? I think it makes a lot of sense. Russ saying, you got any good news, KG? Well, I can't just pull something out, Russ. Good news is, we're all here. We're all happy, healthy, okay, we're not happy. We're all healthy. We're all here. Life is what it is. We go over hurdles. No, I ain't got nothing, Russ. I ain't got nothing. I'm sorry. But listen, people, that will do it for today. There's not much else. There's not much else. And shout out to you, Russ. What news, to end the night? But listen, people, if you haven't already, please hit a like. I will be back later on today. Try and get some sleep if you can. Drop your comments below. And I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out. Please stay, Georgie. Please.